won't tell you what you need to know as we begin another trading session. So, let me just start with that point, which is the fact that the Nifty has added 600 points in the last 4 sessions, basically from last Monday. Tuesday is when the market made all-time high. We hit 19,900. And we are at 19,350 almost, right? So it's just been an absolutely very, very fast-paced market on the Nifty. And this is, by the way, in a way, happened at a time when maybe at the margin gains, the pace of gains, at least on the mid-cap side, are slowing down. Action is starting to shift to large caps. More on that a little later, but just a quick look at the U.S. market. It was a shortened session in the U.S. Cash markets closed earlier. There is, of course, a holiday today. U.S. markets are not trading because of the 4th of July holiday. And the changes were not very much. The S&P was flat. It was up about 0.12. NASDAQ was up a little bit more, 0.25% or so. The dollar index is round about just under the 103 odd level. So not very much in a way to really take away. One data point, and I think this is the second data point, which has kind of come in weaker. First was core PCE, and yesterday we got the ISM manufacturing data out of the U.S., which came in its weakest level since May of 2020. But guess what? Markets ignored it. Well, because the understanding is that most of the inflation is coming from services, not from manufacturing. So now we will wait for the services ISM data, which is only going to come out on Thursday. On Friday, later this week, the end of the week, we get the jobs data, which of course is going to be the big one. The labor market in the US has been too tight by all accounts, and that basically leaves no slack across the board. So that's the data out of the US. But in terms of real takeaways from US markets and Qs, etc., not very much. Okay, so the Nifty has now continued its upward journey, 600 points. But it's also yesterday hit the upper end of the rising channel. This is the level we put out yesterday, 19,315. We've actually ended slightly above this level. So I would say, I think the opening is not, the GIFT Nifty now is not indicating a big open here or there. But so 19,315 in that sense becomes at the upper end of the rising channel becomes important. I mean, if the market gallops ahead, that becomes a bit of a support, which the Nifty should not enter into once again. And if the market runs away, I mean, we're basically looking at least 19,500 to begin with. So let's see if after a very sharp-paced move, no U.S. markets later today, we get a bit of a consolidative kind of session. On the downside, the trailing reversal stop that you could sort of keep is roughly just under 19,000 actually, but rounded off that to 19,000. But that is also 300 points away, 320 points away. But that's the closest that you could find based on hourly indicators, etc. That's been the pace of the move that we've had. On the Bank Nifty, we closed, the moves sort of picked up pace a little bit after we closed above the previous high. That was 44,500. 44,499 to be precise, and we saw that yesterday, right? The Bank Nifty outperformed the Nifty and what it did. Upside target could be about 46,000, and the supports, basically there's a big gap which we saw between day before yesterday and yesterday, 44,800 to 44,900, the high of day before yesterday and the low of yesterday, which is 44,900. That's basically the zone around where you should look for supports, trailing reversal stops, etc. So, I mean, things are looking good. The only thing I think which is a bit of an impediment, which perhaps is a case against the market doing better, is that it has done too well in a very, very short time span. Otherwise, not really very much out there, which is perhaps a big negative or anything. But sometimes you need to pay attention, especially if you're trading, you need to be cognizant of the fact that, markets don't go, they do go one way. I mean, it's been a one-way kind of a move, but after a fair bit of rally, perhaps there is a bit of a pause, a consolidation, sideways kind of market, which isn't a bad thing at all. Rima.
Just to put that